Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to you. I will be your new substitute teacher for this evening. My name is Mr. Billy Collins, and I hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday night thus far. And for the next hour, we are going to be smashing bets utilizing OddsJam software. And it's not just a Tuesday, it's a Hawaiian Tuesday, baby. I love rocking Hawaiian Tuesday shirts. Hawaiian shirts are my favorite. As we're getting into the DFS Optimizer, we're going to hop in. I guess I'm a little bit early, supposed to start at 6. You know what? There are no rules. Let's just get into it, guys. How's your day going for you thus far? Have you been smashing any Australian Open bets? We got a nice NBA slate ahead of us, some hockey as well, college hoops, the whole gambit, and we're going to be getting into it, just placing some bets. So let's get into it. First and foremost, we're over on PrizePicks, 5 and 6 pick entries. If you have no idea who I am, if you're like, this guy's not Alex, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's not Alex. I live in the great state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth state, and so I don't have access to any DFS books. Now, I am moving to Arizona in 4 months, where I'll gain access to PrizePicks and Underdog. So at the moment, the best that I can provide you is just these plays right here, right? These top plays as we're looking them over on PrizePicks right now for 5 and 6 pick entries. This entire stream tonight is going to be a price-sensitive, data-driven sports betting strategy that we're going to employ. So all I care about here is the price. Really, the names on the screen don't mean much to me unless I'm getting a great price. So utilizing OddsJam's algorithm right here, you can see that maybe if we're looking at Trae Young on his points and assists over 34.5 against the Suns tonight, well, you're getting this at 36.5 on FanDuel at -102. We're getting 2 points less to hit that over, and we're getting this at -119. And if you guys are new to sports betting, think of this as buying a stock. Over at Parlay Play, they're pricing this at $128. We're getting this at $119 on PrizePicks. So top 5, 6 picks right here. I love to also include some plays in that yellow-orange color. These plays don't really have massive EV. They don't have negative EV, just a very slim, slight edge, but something that I would rather put on my slip than maybe asking my buddy across the street who's his favorite plays tonight, right? These are really good options. So we're going to hop over to Underdog, and we're just going to bop around, guys. We're going to be hitting up the DFS tool. We're going to be going over to arbitrage betting, middle betting, positive EV betting, and I'm just going to brain dump on you for the next hour, just sharing a lot of information, dissecting plays, and going through kind of what I like to attack. So for any Underdog picks right here, again, 6 pick slips are the most optimal, but also 3 pick entries with no insurance are really solid as well. Now you're going to see there's a ton of esport plays right now. I like to throw in a minimum of 2 data points. Why? Well, it's no different than if you break your leg and you want to go get a second opinion from a doctor. You want to have, the more opinions that you have, the better this is. So when we're looking at maybe Isaac on his over 23.5 first map kills, PrizePicks and Parlay Play have this at 25. Underdog simply has this set too low. So when people talk about like, yo, that's a sharp play, this is an example of a sharp play and why you'd want to add this to your slip. Now again, 6 pick entries, we're getting this at -116 odds, an incredible price off of the OddsJam algorithm here. We can create a bunch of different slips. So unfortunately, because I am in PA and I can't play DFS, I can't share the links with you guys here on the stream, but I can go ahead and just showcase to you some really awesome plays. Now, if we go ahead and maybe change this from 6 pick entries to 3 pick entries with no insurance, you can see all the options laid out for you right here. What you're going to find out is that, well, we have about 3 plays here that have little to no edge. They're not terrible. They're not great either. They're just okay. But I'm all right with you making a 3-pick slip based off of these 3 plays right here. Naturally, the plays in green, those are the ones that we want to add first. But the plays in yellow or orange, I'm totally cool with. And so this is going to be kind of something, guys, that I'm going to be starting to do a little bit more consistently as we're over here on Better for myself. With Better, we need 5 entries here, right? If you have some kind of promo that you're trying to pair this up with, I'm not crazy about dipping your toes into the plays in red, but, you know, I understand, like, if the promo's ending tonight, you got to put something together. I get it. It makes sense. But I'm going to be coming back on to you guys also tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, starting Monday through Thursday, getting some streams in an hour before the NBA tips off, the NHL gets going. I think there's just some awesome opportunities right now for to find some sharp plays, B, this is when all the casual sports bettors are coming home from work. They're finishing up dinner and they're like, yo, let's smash some bets. So as sharp sports bettors, this is a really optimal time for arbitrage betting. It's great for plus EV betting. It puts a little camo on you from the recreational books trying to figure out if you're super sharp or not because, well, this is when everyone else is wagering. So when we're over here on Fliff, looking at maybe just some of the top plays on Fliff, maybe the Joker to get a triple-double. Again, I like to use at least 2 minimum data points. If you want to take this to 3, 4, 5, again, it's a choose your own adventure here, but I like at least 2 other books that show their opinions. Now, for minimum maximum odds, if you want to throw this in at maybe a minus 150, you want to take this to plus 125, then these are all the plays right here. So we see Joker, one of the sharpest sports books in the world, Pinnacle at minus 103. So meaning that we have to put up $103 to profit $100, where Fliff, $100 wager gets us out $130. So I'm going to go ahead and tee up my Fliff account. I don't have a lot of money in this personal Fliff account here, but I do want some exposure to this. So I'm going to go ahead and throw $100 over on the Joker. So we're just going to scroll down a little bit, come down to this Nuggets-Mavericks game. Nobody that I'd rather go after with a triple-double than the Joker. Look at player prop bets. Not going to be many that offer this, and looks like they just removed this. Unless Joker, we have to find him somewhere else. Of course, as soon as I look for him, it's already gone. Let me go ahead and take a look to see for like Joker on his rebounds. Sometimes on Fliff, these plays hide. So let me go to show all and let me find them. I might already pass them up. Yeah, it looks like they might have removed all of Joker's lines right now. It's not there. I'm not going to focus on it too much. We're just going to move along. That's a real shame, though, because I really wanted to hit that up. Let me do a little quick refresh and see what else we have. Whoa, the over 234 here? OddsJam really likes this at a 7.5% edge. Bet Rivers at minus 175, Rebet minus 163. It's at minus 125 on Fliff. Okay, I could kind of be interested on this. Some for NBA player props, I think that Pinnacle and FanDuel are my 2 sharp books that I love to utilize in this. So to Pinnacle for like maybe this West Virginia point spread at plus 15.5, not too bad. And then FanDuel's at minus 110. Maybe I want to go on this with West Virginia at plus 15.5, taking on the Cougars over at Houston. Again, all these plays here, guys, are really solid. They all have an edge. This is the foundation that you really want to be placing your bets with. This is a tomorrow bet. I'd rather wait on a tomorrow bet, to be honest. I'd rather maybe go after something that's more like today. Let's take a look at this Hawks play really quick at plus 2.5. Getting a really good price. Pinnacle's at minus 150. Yeah, I like this. Let's go with the Hawks plus 2.5 points against the Suns instead. I'd rather put my money to use tonight so that I can make some, when this bet hits, I can go back to work, putting this money to work tomorrow as well. That's kind of the idea behind it. So we're looking at halves. We're going to look at first half point spreads. Hawks at plus 2.5. Where are we at? Minus 130. Bingo. And I'm going to throw $100 on this bad boy right here. All right, so there's our first play, Hawks plus 2.5. Now, again, guys, I don't care what kind of sports betting you like to utilize. You have to track your bets. If you're not tracking your bets, how the hell do you know how much money you're making? You have no idea, right? So OddsJam's Bet Tracker is what I've been using for over 3.5 years. It's the best. I legitimately have maybe 22,000 bets in my Bet Tracker. When I export it onto an Excel spreadsheet, we can find a lot of great plays. I can look at a lot of historical data. It can chop it down. I can filter it by market, by book. Does this guy ever shut up or does he go on for a whole hour straight? Pretty much. So bet tracking is really important in being able to see, how profitable you are. Just simply logging onto your Caesars account and looking at your settled bets and your open bets, that's not going to get the job done. Plus, you can use your historical data from previous bets to help you shape your path moving forward as a sports bettor. Looking at Rebet here, first half total on the Suns and the Hawks. I'm extremely limited on Rebet. I don't have any funds over there, but if you wanted to hit up Rebet, for those that have this, fantastic play. I really like this a lot because Pinnacle's at minus 126. A lot of the books have this roughly at minus 135, and you're just getting an insane price over at Rebet at minus 116, 1.5% edge. Let's take a look at some other books like Parlay Play, Dabble, and then we'll hop over to the Arbitrage tool, see if we can make some risk-free dough, and then shuttle it over, take a look at the Middles tool, and then the Positive EV tool. The bulk of my streams, guys, I like to spend on Positive EV betting, but if there's some arbitrage opportunities out there, definitely going to take a look at it to hit some up. The value's not great on Parlay Play, not going to lie. How about DraftKings Pick 6? When we're rocking DraftKings Pick 6, 2-pick entries are the most optimal because we're getting the best odds. OddsJam does all the work for you. We're at minus 137 here, where like the next best slip is a 6-man entry at minus 145. So I mean, with these 2-pick entries, what I like to do if you're like, yo, I got like $20 tonight on DraftKings pick 6. Should I put it all on one slip? I would prefer you don't. I would prefer you take that $20, chop that up, and make a bunch of different slip combinations right here because you have a ton of different options. Kind of spread the wealth like an index fund. Share that wealth, and then go ahead over here and just make a bunch of different entries. And again, if you want to maybe get in the weeds and say, you know what, screw your 2 minimum data points. I want 4. Okay, well, let's go 4. And you're going to get a lot of really good options right here that you can go after. Be careful with the Mahomes play, though, because I'm pretty sure you're going to have to pair that with another NFL playoff game at a minimum 3-pick entry. So if you want to bypass that and just add the rest of these guys, I'm totally cool with it. Welcome in, guys. If I look different than Alex, I'm not quite as handsome as he is. I'm just kind of your substitute teacher right now. But my name is Billy Collins. You might have seen me on an OddsJam video before. If you haven't, definitely check it out. Got a lot of good content on the OddsJam YouTube channel. Also, don't be afraid to DM me or email me. Ask any questions. I know what it's like starting out in your sports betting journey. And, don't be afraid to utilize me as a resource. That's the one thing that I definitely want to stress to you guys is you have a friend in me. You can definitely ask me any questions. I'll be happy to help you out any way that I can. On Sleeper, not very good. Not great value on Sleeper at the moment. And let's take a look at maybe Vivid Picks. And we'll also maybe take a look at Parlay if it's over here as well. Let's see. Vivid Picks. All right, we need a 5-pick entry. Again, we got 4 plays here that I would throw in the slip. I'm not crazy about dipping my toes. Kind of the line in the sand for me is the red plays. But if you have a promo that you're rocking tonight, you got to get that 5th pick. All right, Zibanejad or Rupe hints. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Let's take a look at a parlay play. Or parlay, excuse me, not parlay play. Parlay, good golly. Oh, man, this book. I don't know if you guys have Parlay where you're available, where you live. Maybe it's North Carolina that's available with DFS. This is a newer DFS book that's opened up on the scene within the last month or so, and I could probably spend an entire stream making slips right here. I am going to be heading down to Florida here in a couple weeks or so to visit my dad, and I know Dabble's available down there, and I am really, really excited to hit that up. Let's hop over to the arbitrage tool, and let's kind of tee this up. If you guys don't know about exchanges like NoVig, like ProfitX, buddy, it's a time and a half with these books. These exchanges right here, absolutely in love with them. And again, with arbitrage betting, placing 2 bets on 2 different books, and we're locking in risk-free profit. No matter what happens, you can't lose. This is how I started sports betting over 3.5 years ago, was utilizing arbitrage betting. I love the idea of, I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to make money no matter what. And so with these exchanges like ProfitX, they welcome arbitrage bettors. So let me go ahead, now Bet365, guys, again, I'm in Pennsylvania. So I do have Bet365. I don't have an account for myself. But I can go ahead and try to hit up this play right here with Plumlee on his blocks. When we're looking at this, start to think of this as investing, right? Whereas we have, in this example, if you invest $190 into this play, you're going to make $3 and change or $10 no matter what. And you might be like, oh, well, who cares? Who cares? That means if you can find 3, 4, 5 more plays like this per day, and this is the optimal time to arbitrage right now, this is going to be the way that you're going to be able to churn out 10, 15, $30, $50 everyday arbitrage betting. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to ProfitX, and I just first want to make sure there's liquidity in this Plumlee market, right? Because this is a little bit different than the recreational books where it's not like, hey, it's you versus the house like against DraftKings. We need to make sure that there's actual money. This is peer-to-peer books, so we need to make sure that there's some money over there for Plumlee on his block. So before I share my screen with you, I just want to make sure it's there. Yes, so currently there's about $1,700 available at minus 104 odds, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do on my other screen is log into Sugar House. Now, if you're like, who's Sugar House? Sugar House, BetParks, Ballybet, these are all can-be sports books. They all utilize a third party. They all utilize the same odds maker. And so I'm going to go ahead and log in over here and throw this over at Sugar House. Now, I know over at ProfitX, trying to break down this arbitrage example right here, I know that there is around roughly $1,700 that I could hit up on this play. So before I even go smash any of these bets, I just want to go ahead and pull this up. So we're going to come down here to player defense. We're looking at Plumlee, right? So for him, I believe to not get a block on Sugar House, correct. So I don't know how much they're going to accept from me first. So I'm going to double check to make sure there's liquidity in this market on Plumlee. There is, no problem. Let's see if I can place a $200 wager over here. No. So the max wager is $79. No problem. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to change this to 79 bucks. And then I'm going to come over here and change this right here to boom, 79. So I'm going to wager 90 on ProfitX, 79 over here on Sugar House. Here we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and first, I know that they're going to accept this wager. So let me go ahead and lock this in. Plumlee to not get a block. Beautiful. Then I'm going to come over here to ProfitX. And we're going to get Plumlee to record a block. And I'm going to wager this for $90. Bingo. So now we're in for come on, Billy, get it right, $60. No. We got to get this. There we go. Man, got nervous there for a second. Didn't think it was going to accept, but totally matched. So we're in for $160. If we win this play on ProfitX, we're going to get our $160 back plus what? Like $16 and change, right? And if Plumlee doesn't get a block in this game, then we're going to make really good profit over here as well. Sorry, 79. So I'm in for 169. Still a really good play. No matter what happens, we're going to lock in guaranteed money. And that's the beauty of ProfitX. We know the liquidity that's available in that market. So now we can just figure out how much we want to wager over here at Sugar House. And this is how you do it, right? So we're going to make money no matter what happens. And that's the beautiful part here. I'll just change this from Bet Rivers over to Sugar House. If I could spell, we'll get this going. And so again, guys, with OddsJam's Bet Tracker, that's completely free. It's going to show you exactly what you want to do. So I could spend this whole stream just going through some different examples. Naturally, the more sports books that you have accounts with, the more money that you can make, right? And what you want to make sure that you do before you jump into the arbitrage tool, and linked in the description, guys, will be a 1-week free trial. Using my code BillyC is going to save you 35% off your first month after the 1-week trial ends. So here's what's going to happen. Is that you're going to notice that you want to take the time to set up your filters. So my filters here are pretty simple. Whatever sports books that you have accounts with, obviously I'm in Pennsylvania, it's going to differ to where you live. You're just going to select the books right here. The percentage, right? If you want a minimum of 1%, you can do that. If you want to say, bro, I don't want to mess with anything unless it's 4% or higher, no problem. Anything that's 4% or higher, let's get that going again. For the minimum, that's what we're going to leave. You're going to leave the maximum completely blank. Now, if you want to dial this into certain sports, you could do so. Markets as well. Maybe you're like, hey, dude, I just kind of want to go after main market plays because I know there's more liquidity in those markets. I could wager a lot of money. You can do that as well. And then you just want to make sure that you save your filter and then make sure that you click push notifications. And then whatever you want to call it, you just type it, save it, bingo. Now you're going to get alerted via email whenever these opportunities pop up based off of the filters that you set up. So this is really important with arbitrage betting. Now, sometimes what I like to do is I'll just clear out everything. I'll just clear it all out, right? And so I'll pull in markets. Maybe we're looking at main markets right now. And what I'll specifically look for is to see if Pinnacle shows up at all here. So what I like to do is if you can find plays that are an ARB to Pinnacle, which is widely regarded as one of the most sharpest sports books in the world. Very poor English there. So like right here on Gary Trent, points, rebounds, and assists on Caesars. This could be a play that maybe we wanted to attack. It looks to be pretty decent over at 365 and Fanatics. What do I mean by this? Well, over at Caesars, we're getting a great price. If I click into this, again, I am using the Platinum plan, guys, on OddsJam, so I have all the bells and whistles. If you're going to try a 1-week free trial, definitely talk to the fine folks at OddsJam and say, yo, I want a 1-week free trial with the Platinum plan so that you can see everything. You have everything available at your fingertips. Let's go over to Fliff. Let's pull this in. Let's see what we get. Just trying to get the chart to load up. Bingo. There we go. So why do I love this play for player props? Well, here's why. Because Pinnacle, within the last couple of minutes, just plummeted in price on this specific play. And their price didn't plummet because the guys working at Pinnacle was like, you know what, bro? We should just like change the odds, just like to mess with them. No. The price plummeted because of information and money. So what do I mean by this? Well, as about an hour ago, you could have got this play on Caesars at -109. And now, all of a sudden, within the last minute, it's at -161. It just went way down, meaning that if you wanted to profit $100, you could have spent $109 to get $100 on Caesars, or on Pinnacle at -109. And now it's all the way down here at -161, meaning that you'd have to put up $161 to profit 100. This is how I like to utilize the arbitrage tool to find sharp plays on their own. So right here, Fliff's kind of chilling, right? They've been dropping a little bit in price. Caesars Not much at all. So this is picking off a stale sportsbook like Caesars. So the one-click bet feature is beautiful. I just need to log into Caesars, and we're going to be able to smash this Gary Trent Jr. play for a really good price. Now, if you're trying to figure out like, hey, Billy, that's great. Here's one of my email addresses. Hit me up. I respond to everybody. If you're like, all right, Billy, well, we found a sharp play, but how much should I wager on this, right? We don't really know. So here's what we could do. Going off of Pinnacle's odds at 114, 151, all you have to do is come over here to a no vig fair odds calculator, right? All these sports books make money charging vig, right? They don't charge you a monthly subscription fee like Hulu. They charge vig. So we need to remove the vig from the line to figure out what the fair line is. What's the fair odds? So utilizing Pinnacle as our sharp sports book, the fair odds are going to be plus minus almost 129, meaning that we would need odds above plus 129 to be value on the over 12.5 PRA, or odds below minus 128 for there to be value on the under PRA. So then when I come over to a Kelly criterion calculator, right, because that's the betting strategy that I love to use is Kelly, we're going to take this win percentage, open up this calculator. All these calculators, guys, on OddsJam are completely free. So don't be afraid to use them. I use Quarter Kelly. We're getting this at minus 109 odds, and then I throw in the fair win percentage. Now, OddsJam would tell me that we're rocking an almost 8% EV edge on this Gary Trent play, and I should wager like $754. Now, I'm not going to wager $754 mainly because I'm a chicken. I don't have the stones to pull the trigger on a bet like this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to wager something that's pretty substantial, but to me, I'm going to be comfortable with, and that's $300. That's pretty much what I'm comfortable rocking on this play. But over at Caesars, they take my wager for $300, and we're in. And that's a pretty big bet for old Billy Boy right now. I'm kind of getting nervous right now, but I like this because we're taking advantage of placing a bet on a stale sports book when Pinnacle's price plummeted and truly plummeted. So this is another way that I like to utilize the arbitrage tool. Where's my play at? Here it is. I like to utilize the arbitrage tool, and this is an even better play over at Bet365 or Fanatics, right? So we're in for $300. Also, another reason why I maybe didn't bet the full recommended bet size is because in case Pinnacle retreats a little bit in their price, then I leave myself a little bit of cushion, right? What I mean by that is I should wager $754. Well, if Pinnacle goes from minus 150, maybe up to minus 135, it's still an EV play, but I should wager a little bit less, so I leave myself a bit of cushion. To be very frank with you guys, when it comes to player props, I like to be a bit more conservative with my wager size compared to wagering on moneyline spreads and totals. So 2 different examples of how I love to utilize the arbitrage tool. This is still an ARB to Pinnacle. Anytime that I see an ARB to Pinnacle at all, when I come down here, I get really excited because I know that that's how we want to pick off a recreational sports book utilizing Pinnacle as my sharp. As you can see, though, here, dude, like right before tip right here now, guys, there's so many basketball plays. It's insane how many opportunities there are. I could hit the play button if I wanted to, but there's just a lot of great opportunities. Now, outside of arbitrage betting, one of my other favorite strategies to employ is middle betting. And this is even better than arbitrage betting, where we're not only taking advantage of odds or price discrepancies, but line discrepancies as well. So when we're over here on the sports books, again, you could tee up whatever sports books maybe you have accounts with. I'll just click on my PA books. Now, I have a minimum percentage at 2. If you want to drop this down, sometimes I'd like to go to 0.01. I love this as well. And so when we're looking at middle betting here, maybe if you have a no vig and Fanatics account for Zakaria Risharia, which I probably butchered that dude's name, if somehow he lands exactly on 12 points, we're making good money. But either way, we're getting an ARB of almost just over 2%. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say we wagered 115 over at Fanatics. I would just round down, wager $95 on no vig. And what you could see here is you're going to have a total investment of $215. If this dude scores 2 points tonight, then the bet loses on no vig. It wins on Fanatics. You make $4 and change, almost $5. If this dude goes for 50 tonight, then the bet wins on no vig, loses on Fanatics. You make $4 and change. If he lands exactly on 12 points scored, then the over 11.5 will win and the under 12.5 will win, and you'll win both bets. Middle betting is very low risk, very high reward. You leave yourself a window of opportunity to win both bets. It is awesome. I can't stress that enough, especially with player props, right? So same thing here with like DraftKings and Bet365, where if the Sixers lose this game by 29 points exactly, or the Thunder win by 29 points exactly, you're going to win both bets on DraftKings and Bet365. So again, taking the time to set up your filters is going to be very important. Maybe you don't want to go after 0.01%. Maybe you're like, yo, dude, I just want anything that's 1% or higher because I do like this strategy you're talking about. Okay, cool. Now you can set up, again, your markets, your date range. I kind of leave everything blank here, but you can see there's an opportunity with Sam Laporta. If he lands exactly on 50 receiving yards in this Lions-Commanders game, then you're going to cash both bets. Dude, we got like a lot of people on the stream right now. Oh, Billy Boy's not used to this one. So this is how I like to employ middle betting. Now, when we get, and these are arbitrage and middle betting guys, are going to be some very low risk, very high reward strategies, a really nice way to pad your bankroll and to grow your bankroll. Now, over here on the positive expected value tool, it's going to be a little bit different. Depending on who you talk to, there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize this tool to make money. So I'm going to share with you some of my favorite ways that I like to use the tool to make money. But there isn't just a one size fits all with this, because you can go down a lot of different paths when it comes to this. And again, guys, if you're enjoying this stream, I'm going to be streaming on my personal YouTube channel tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Similar type of stream. Stop by, hang out. I'm going to be back here on the OddsJam channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern doing the same dang thing. So over here on the EV tool, again, taking the time to set up your filters, very important. Sportsbooks right here, minimum, maximum odds. Again, this is going to depend on your risk tolerance. Are you conservative or aggressive when it comes to betting? And what type of odds do you like to mess around with? So sometimes I leave the minimum odds completely blank, meaning that I'll accept anything that's like minus 5,000, minus a million odds. That's fine. Maximum odds, though, are plus 150. I'll sometimes put this at 175 or plus 200. Percentage. It depends on the market that I'm going after with which percentage that I want to go after here. So 3%, I don't mind this for player props. I like 3 or 4% or higher. So we're going to focus on some NBA player props. So maybe I want to go with 4% EV edge if this is going to work for me. There we go, not 44. Sport, I have everything teed up. Make sure everything's selected. League, everything is selected. Markets, we're going to click off main markets and alternate markets right now. Date range, I'll focus on today. You could also go for the next 24 hours if you wish. Market width, minimum market width, completely blank. Max market width, I'll mess around with 30, 40 cents. Right now I'm doing 50. That's cool by me. DVIG settings, we're going to go with the OddsJam recommended book weights, but we are going to change this up here in a little bit. I am using the power default method. Let's check out some plays. So over on DraftKings, this Bobby Portis play is bananas. Absolute bananas. Again, the fair value should be plus 133. I would expect DraftKings to update this here. If I open up this play, yes, exactly. It's at plus 115. That was fun. No problem. Refresh, we move on. Paul George on his assists. If you guys rock underdog too, this would be a great play to play on a Conquo under 8.5 rebounds. The fair value is minus 152. You could put this on a 2-pick slip. One of those rare occurrences. You could play a 2-pick slip with no insurance. For Mr. George, we're seeing this at under 5.5 assists at even money on Fliff. What you could do over here looking at Pinnacle, again, I love to pull up the price chart. I want to see what's going on. Now, Fliff moved up about 8 minutes ago in their price because it was down to minus 167. It moved up. Pinnacle, though, has been slowly on a decline here. So the remaining funds that I do have in my Fliff account, I want to go ahead and hit this up on this Paul George game between the Sixers and the Thunder. So I only have about, I think, $90-some left over. No problem. We're looking at his assist under 5.5, even money. I got $97. That's what I'm going to wager on. I'll leave the loose change off for right now. Looks like they just moved this play. Stay hot, Colin. Stay hot, kid. You're doing real well. So that play's gone. That's no problem. We're just going to move along. Remember, guys, at this time of the day, we are less than an hour away from some of these NBA games tipping off. There's going to be a lot of movement going on. If you're an underdog user, I could tell you right here, this is fantastic. Because these no vig fair odds are like 152, 138, you could put these 3 plays in a 3-pick entry right here with Daniels, Lillard, and Okonkwo. You could definitely do that. If they don't let you combine Daniels and Okonkwo, you could actually rock Lillard and Okonkwo for a 2-pick entry with no insurance. For my Bet365 users, you're going to find a lot of solid value on 365 right here. Again, 365 is going to hog up a lot of the plays here. Let's take a look at LaMelo, though, Lonzo, under 7.5 points. Again, this little logo right here, guys, tells me I already have some wagers on this game. I did bet the under on this not too long ago over here, and looks like it shifted a little bit against me, but that's okay. That's all right. So looking at no vig, again, a different exchange. I think FanDuel's very sharp for NBA player prop bets. I love them. I want to check out their movement. You can see that FanDuel's moved recently from plus 110 all the way down to minus 110 within the last couple of minutes. And so that movement's something that maybe we want to take advantage of over at no vig because they still have this at plus 110. So let me fire up no vig, another exchange. We hit one up on ProfitX earlier. I use both of them. There really isn't a sports book in Pennsylvania that I haven't utilized yet. So we're looking at the Bulls, and I just want to make sure there's liquidity in this before I go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Player points, Lonzo? So they have the line at 8.5. That just tells me that somebody scooped up all the value here. So this is Gonzo. Gonzo for Lonzo. Adios. See you later. That's okay. We're moving on. The Paul George play, guys, again, if you know that like Fliff removed this, then what we could do is just click hide bet, and it's just going to say adios. Dyson Daniels on his over, points, rebounds, and assists over at DraftKings. I am very limited on DraftKings for player props, but compared to FanDuel, this is a fantastic play. But let me get into the weeds. And if you see me open up the odds graph, guys, truly, I put my money where my mouth is. I love to look at the odds graph and the price movement chart to see what's going on. So DraftKings kind of dropped down a few minutes ago, jumped back up. They kind of reset to the original price that they were at. But FanDuel just went to the bottom on this price. Went from plus 110 all the way to minus 128. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but FanDuel didn't drop their odds just because they felt like it, right? There's a reason that this price went way down. Either information or money came into this market. So this is now this is a sizable favorite over at FanDuel. You can get a great price over at DraftKings right now at plus 115 odds for Dyson Daniels over on his points, rebounds, and assists. This is kind of what you can expect from me, guys, in these streams. I like for you to get inside my head and we can talk about certain plays that I do and don't like. I'm not trying to gloss over these Bet365 plays. It's just that there's so many of them that typically Bet365 is one of the easier sports books that you can beat, and this is utilizing a top-down sports betting strategy, right? We're just looking at top-down for prices. Now, we're using OddsJam's algorithm right here. So maybe let me jump into Donovan Mitchell here, okay? Oh, my big boys showed up for this one. So we got Bookmaker, Circa, and FanDuel all chilling between minus 105, minus 115, right? We're looking at the over on Mitchell at plus 110. And this is truly, you could arb this with a book called Juice Bet, but right here, like, it's hard for me not to really like this play a ton. So what's the deal here? All right, ProfitX shot up in price. FanDuel's kind of moving up a little bit, but not a lot of movement here. Circa jumped up recently from a minus 118 to minus 105. Bookmaker, kind of the same. Where you saw with Bookmaker here, they were down at minus 121, went up to minus 115. ProfitX is at plus 110. Guys, there are certain instances where this price is just too good to pass up. Now, I might not be comfortable wagering $480 on this play, but I would like to have some exposure to this. They're taking on the Pacers tonight. Would love to see, Spida is one dude that can absolutely go nuclear. He can go for 50 if he wants to. So I'm just checking to make sure there's some liquidity here. 23.5. There isn't. So I'll go ahead and share my screen with you, but there's $13. So I'm not going to be that guy and be greedy. I'm just going to let it slide. But as you can see, the over 23.5 right here, there's $13.75. So if one of you find chaps, and it's at minus 110, so the price isn't even any good anymore. And I don't want that at minus 110. I wanted it at plus 110. So obviously we're just going to move on from it. And that's okay. It happens. And we move along. But you can see, guys, with ProfitX and NoVig, there's a lot that we can dive into. And again, with these exchanges, you're never, ever, ever going to have to worry about getting limited. If you make $1 million on your ProfitX account, they're just going to be like, nice, bro. Nice. Keep it going. Keep it going. Because they make money they take a little cut off the top of whoever wins the bet. That's how they make money as an exchange. These collegiate player props, guys, if you want to go after these, you totally can. For me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of betting on collegiate player props just not my cup of tea. I like going after NBA player props, and there's a lot of them out here. So let me look at McConnell, plus 155. Good golly, this is an insane price, even at no vig. Like, you have some options here, right, that you can go after either one of these plays. Let me just kind of take a look at these books and see what's what. Okay, ProfitX shot up in price recently. FanDuel's kind of been chilling here. Not normally the indicator that I like. I would like this to be the opposite, where ProfitX is kind of just flatlined and FanDuel kind of shot up or shot down in one direction. Not going to lie, I'm not really crazy about that movement there, so I want to back away from it and just go on to another play. I can't pronounce this dude's name. Looks like this is gone. This happens. No worries. We move on. Let's take a look at Nemhard. If you see this over here on DraftKings, guys, you want to take advantage of this, I'm totally fine with it. Let's take a look. Over 6.5 player assists. So the problem here, the only problem with the exchanges, guys, is obviously we're fighting over liquidity. Everyone's in competition to go get this money right now. So we're looking at the over 6.5. This is a great price. And let me see the why. Why is it such a good price for Nemhard over 6.5 assists? And while that's going on, I will then also, there we go. Cool. Circa, wow, Circa just plummeted recently. That's kind of a big deal to me. They plummeted in price. Bookmakers the same. FanDuel's chilling. ProfitX is chilling. But you can see Circa right here, guys. Very sharp book. Went from minus 120 all the way down to minus 150. This is on Nemhard over 6.5 assists. Let me go back to this Cavaliers-Pacers game to see if we have anything over there. That's a really good indicator for me, a really sharp sports book like that. Yeah, we can get this. We can get this at a good price. Now, again, with OddsJam, they already kind of calculate the fact that I just told you how ProfitX makes money. So you can say, hey, Billy, this is minus 101. I'm going to go ahead and throw $250 on this. You guys, I'm going to leave some money out there for you guys if you want some of this. But OddsJam already calculates if we win this bet, we're really going to be getting paid out at minus 104 odds. So I'm in for $250 on Nemhard over 6.5 assists. But if you want to grab this right now, there's about $247 left. Go ahead and snag it. I'm all about that. And then obviously we'll throw this in the bet tracker right now over at ProfitX. So I'm a huge fan of ProfitX, especially if you love the arbitrage bet. I really, really like it. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream thus far. We're going to take a timeout, head over back to the optimizer, and take a look back at like PrizePicks, Underdog, Parlay Play, and see what we got going on over there. Again, this is what I'm hoping to provide you guys in the streams moving forward. I'm going to be on at 6 o'clock tomorrow, back on the OddsJam channel streaming. And tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time on my personal YouTube channel, just type in Billy Collins Bets, and you'll find me over there. I'll be streaming at 9 a.m. Eastern. And, you know, kind of get into it a little bit more and kind of talk to you about what's going on. I love to run giveaways over on my YouTube channel. Big fan of running giveaways, especially for like NFL anytime touchdown scores. So definitely take a look at some of the content on my channel. Also check out some of the content on OddsJam's channel. If you're new to sports betting, you are in the best time of the sports betting year. We still have football going on, and we are in full swing with basketball season and hockey, and it's going to be a really, really good time to be a sports bettor. So looking at some of the top plays on PrizePicks, again, if you like fantasy scores, you can add Matthew Stafford in for fantasy scores. If you're like, yo, bro, I'm not really crazy about fantasy scores, then what you could do is come over here to stats, click select all, and I'll just type in fantasy, remove it right here, and click apply. Okay, and now we're in a really good spot where the fantasy scores are removed. These are, again, for 5 and 6 pick entries. If you look at me and you say, hey, bro, I don't care about 5 pick entries. I just want to rock a 2 pick entry. Well, OddsJam's optimizer is not going to see too many plays right now that are going to be very favorable for 2 pick entries, right? But that's the beauty of this. Whatever type of slip that you like to create, it's right here. So for 5-man flexes, excuse me, you can go after and add all of these plays up. If you live in a state that maybe doesn't allow you to wager on collegiate players, no problem. You can add some of these esports guys. There's a lot of options right here. I really, really like it. So really good stuff. All right. I like this for PrizePicks. Now, again, as I mentioned before, if you have, I don't know, $50 that you're like looking to put on PrizePicks, I myself, I'm not going to put the mortgage on the top 5 plays here. What I like to do is just chop it up and make a lot of different slip combinations and add a lot of different guys. Now, for me personally, maybe on like Henu here, like I would add him on 2, maybe 3 different slips, right? So I'd build a bunch of different combinations, go Stafford, Henu, take the top 5 plays. There's 1. Then add him to some other guys. There's 2. Then maybe add him on some guys down here. That's 3. And that's my max exposure. Typically, I'm like a two slip guy. So Klay Thompson on his points and rebounds, I'm adding him on 2 different slips, and that's it, right? You don't want to have 15 different prize pick slips, all hinging on Klay Thompson's under on his points and rebounds. If this doesn't cash, then you have a lot of exposure, right? Your risk goes up a lot more because you're not mitigating your risk. You have everything on Klay Thompson. So if you have him on 7 different slips, well, that's no bueno, because if he goes out and has a dud of a game, shoots 1 of 10 from the field, then all your slips are now going to be in a lot of trouble. So that's why I like to have some exposure, but not become overly exposed. As we head over to Underdog right now, and we're looking at maybe some of the top plays. Again, I like to throw in 2 minimum data points. That's just my cup of tea. That's just what I prefer. The Joker over 12.5 boards looks pretty solid. Really like that. Minus 148 over at Pinnacle. 154 on FanDuel. Okay. All right. Not bad. Yeah. And again, Underdog has his line set at 12.5. DraftKings is at 13.5. Same with BetOnline. PrizePicks is at 13.5. And a lot of books have the 12.5 at like minus 154, minus 160. And you're getting this at minus 116 odds on a 6-pick entry for Joker. This is massive, massive value. I love this. So this is kind of how you want to do it with 6-pick entries. Again, if you just maybe want to go ahead and rock 3-pick entries with no insurance, then these are going to be the top 3 plays right here with all 3 of these guys. Looks like maybe Underdog might have just moved their odds really quickly, but you can create a couple different slips based off of this. Oh, man, we are cooking right now. Love it. Hopefully you guys are finding some insight and value in the stream, and if you are, smash the subscribe button, right? We're working our way towards 125,000 subs. Would love for you guys to be a part of it. If you haven't smashed this, if you haven't found, you got to find some kind of value in the stream thus far, guys. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. And again, if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to email me or DM me on X. I respond to literally everybody. Even if you're trying to sell me Girl Scout cookies, doesn't matter. I'll take 3 boxes of tag-alongs, and then I'll say, I got nothing else for you. But don't be afraid to reach out and ask me questions. I know what it's like 3 years ago, starting out, brand new to sports betting, not knowing who to trust, not really knowing where to go. I see this arbitrage betting strategy. Is this legit? Is it real? And it is, right? So utilize me as a guide or a resource because I want to make sure that you make 2025 your best year for sports betting. And you're not going to do it if you keep quiet. So make sure you just ask questions. There isn't a silly question. Trust me. If I don't know it, I'll tell you I don't know, and then we'll find someone that can help you out. That's what it's all about. All right, so we're looking at better 5-pick entries. This is, as you guys can see earlier in the stream, there wasn't much value on better at all, but the sports betting market's no different than the stock market. It's constantly moving in fluctuation. Prices are changing. Things are happening. And now all of a sudden, voila, we have 5 entries right here that are really solid. Let's go over to Fliff. We hit up some Fliff plays earlier. I got to make some more deposits over at Fliff. Billy's got to get his bankroll up over there. Really solid plays. We talked about this before. I can't seem to find the Joker triple-double, but I also might be an idiot, and that happens sometimes. So if that's not there, we did hit up the Hawks earlier. Was it the Hawks play? I believe it was. We have some good player prop bets over here. And again, if you want to maybe change your odds, maybe you're like, hey, dude, I kind of like to play more underdogs, and you want to change this from up to plus 150. Maybe you want to take this to minus 110. You can do that, right? You can find some more underdog odds right here, like with Central Michigan, first half point spread, KD under on his rebounds. This looks to be really solid. Minus 113 on Pinnacle, minus 110 on FanDuel. We're getting plus 105 odds over at Fliff. This is gorgeous right here. This is what you want. Now, the edge is a little bit smaller compared to OddsJam's algorithm, but if you feel that this edge is a little bit more, maybe 2-3%, you can go ahead and put more on this, right? When you're looking at some sharp books like BetOnline, Pinnacle, and FanDuel. I really, really like that. And again, guys, depending on the sports book that we're talking about, certain sports books do shine and have sharpness in different markets. I'm going to be more than happy to share those, what I think is who's sharp in what areas. And I do believe that FanDuel is quite sharp when it comes to NBA player prop bets. I will go after FanDuel in certain spots when I think they're misaligned, but for the most part, I do utilize them as a guide or a reference. Now, for rebet, we're seeing some pretty juicy favorites here. So let me go ahead and throw 2 minimum data points in to see. That might really chop things up, really shorten the list. Yeah, not bad. So this under 233 Cavs Pacers, Pinnacle's at minus 144. This is a really good play over at rebet. I definitely like this. Second half point spread for the Thunder. Not a market that I wager in a ton, to be honest with you. Second half point spread. Would love to hear from you guys if you do wager on that. Looking at the Bucks and the Kings, the under 228. Again, we're seeing Pinnacle is providing their odds right here. I really like that. So we want to definitely go ahead and make sure that we grab some plays with this. Excuse me, that's the dinner popping up right there. It was a delicious dinner, by the way. If you were wondering, it was fantastic. But parlay play, we got some more options on parlay play now. Love that. And so what I'm really excited to move back to the desert in a couple of months to be able to utilize Underdog and PrizePicks and to be able to share some links with you guys so that you're going to be able to tail some plays. But that's going to be taking place at some point in May. I'm moving back to Scottsdale. But I'm currently residing just outside of Pittsburgh right now, and it's quite cold out. I'm not sure if any of you guys are living in the Northeast right now, Midwest. This winter thing, I don't know how you guys do this whole winter thing. It's kind of crazy. I'm still one of those guys that go to the gym with shorts on. Like I don't have pants on and then get changed in the locker room. I just got my shorts on, but like, dude, it's brutal outside. And then like I just moved back. If you guys are unfamiliar, I lived in Arizona, moved back a couple months ago. Now I got to buy like a scraper, like a snow scraper. Like, what is this? I don't want to do any of that. Let's take a look at Dabble. I don't want to do any of that. Scraping my windshield? No, I got to start the car up like, 10 minutes before outside just so that it gets going. And I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. You think I would know this, but I don't know. When I moved out west, I'm not afraid to say it. Old Billy Boy got soft. I got soft real quick, guys. That sunshine, that Arizona heat, sitting by the pool, sipping a couple Modelo's. Yeah, I got soft. And that's all right. I changed. So I'm going to be heading back to the desert in a couple months, and I'm very excited to do so. But for the time being, I'm going to make sure that I utilize my Pennsylvania sports books and just rock out with them. So we're looking at Dabble 5-pick entries, really solid value. Again, if you want to maybe focus on certain leagues, guys, right? Maybe you don't want to mess with CS2 Go. You just want to go NBA. You could do that, right, with Dabble. All right, I just want to rock NBA PrizePicks, NBA slipper. Maybe there's a promo that you have to make just for NBA players. Well, then this is what we want to do. Take maybe Oubre, Levine, Gafford, Gordon, and Zion, right? Then you can rock these right here for the top 5 plays. That's how I really like to utilize it. If you want to take it a step further, again, maybe you're looking at FanDuel and saying, yeah, I like this compared to FanDuel. Let's add these guys right here. Let's take a look at maybe Thrills, a sports book that I love to use, another fantasy sports book, or a social sports book, that I like to utilize. Every now and then I'm just curious to see if there's any Thrills action. Taking a bit of a minute here. We're all right. We're back. Looking like there's some super heavy, juicy soccer, football unders that we could bet. And I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I'm not interested in betting minus 3,000 odds. It's just not for me. But that's all right. We'll move on. Now let's go over to the middles tool, by the way. I want to make sure that I give some shine and highlight to the middles tool. So we talk a lot about middle betting. Now, I showcased to you over on OddsJam's tool, the actual middle betting tool. For DFS, it's a little bit different. And I think that the middle tool really shines here for the optimizer for esports. You can find great prices sometimes on like a Mitchell or a Joker. But I think that it's great for esports. So the idea behind middle betting with this is that these books don't really know how to set their lines. And the source of truth is probably somewhere in the middle. So what I mean by that is, let's say on Cooper Flagg, right? On his points, rebounds, and assists, Miami taking on Duke, right? We're going to get the over 33.5 over at PrizePicks. Well, if you played this over at DraftKings Pick 6, you could get the under 35.5. And what we're thinking is that this line should be at somewhere between 34 or 35. And if he hits on 34 or 35, you hit, on both slips. So if we scroll down just a little bit, I want to see if there's any underdog value right now that I could really go after. Not too many esports lines at the moment. So one easy one would be like parlay, right? You could see parlay off to the side. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to make a 5-pick entry on PrizePicks and a 5-pick entry on parlay. We're going to take Joker under 9.5 assist on PrizePicks, the over 8.5 on parlay, and we're hoping that he hits exactly on 9. And right, you're just going to kind of do that for this play right here for maybe Oubre on his points. You got to be kidding me. That's over 13.5 on parlay. I'm not very familiar with parlay because I don't use it, but because it's not available in Pennsylvania. But this is an absolutely absurd line. Same with this Donovan Mitchell line. This can't be correct, but that's insane. So what you would do, oh my gosh, that's insane. Whoa. So what you would do, I can't believe in sportsbooks and business if they're setting lines like that. It's got to be a promo. They're going to go broke within like a month if you're setting lines like that. So what you want to do right here is like with Kobe White and Keegan Murray. Kobe, if this hits exactly on 25, this is fantastic, right? Hit the under, you hit the over, great. Keegan Murray, same idea. That's kind of the idea. Now, there isn't a guarantee that you're going to win one of these slips, but the idea is this is the strategy that you want to employ because most likely that line should be somewhere in the middle, and you'll be surprised when these do hit. So this is a very fun strategy that I like to use, which is middle betting. This is another way that you could do it. And if you're someone that loves the fantasy scores, you're a huge fantasy score guy, NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and utilize this over here, which is you're kind of looking at, here's Matthew Stafford on PrizePicks for 15. Well, they're saying that this should be at 18.9 points is what his fantasy score should be. So the difference is almost 4 points, and you could see that, well, this is a really good play. We want to hit this over because DraftKings, BetOnline, Bovada all have this at basically 19, and you want to hit the over 15 on this. So that's kind of how we're using the fantasy scores right here. Let's go back over and take a look at, let me show you another way that I really like to utilize the tool on the positive EV betting. One of my other favorite ways is going after one of my sharp sports books. As I mentioned before, I do have the Platinum plan. So if we maybe look at Pinnacle or Circa, what I'd like to do here is actually get off of player prop bets, and let's take a look at some main markets, okay? Now, I have it set pretty high right here for 4% for mainline plays. This could be, it's a little bit different, but what we're going to see here is on a book like Wind Creek, there could be some options here. Ooh, the over on Bet Openly. Now, Bet Openly is like a NoVig or ProfitX. It's a peer-to-peer sports book. I love myself some Bet Openly. Now, this is a little bit different with Bet Openly. You can see they're the only book offering plus odds on this over on the Thunder 76ers game. Let me go ahead and log in over here to Bet Openly. I want to see if this is actually available. I'm interested in finding out. Don't need to know that. So we're going to come over here to customize my feed. Now, sometimes with Bet Openly, the bet is out there for me to wager on, or sometimes I have to create it. It's a little bit different. But we're going to come over here. We're going to take a look at totals for the NBA. We're going to click apply. And then I can either search for it or I could scroll down. Looks like it's not available. So if I go to create bet, this might be where I have to go ahead and create this bet. So we're going to look at game, basketball, NBA, and then the Thunder game, we're looking at what the over 214.5. So I don't want this I want to make sure, I don't want the 215.5. I want to delete this 5, create a 4. And you're going to see that this changes to minus 112 odds. So unfortunately, the value changed in the middle of it. But guys, Bet Openly is a great sports book. Again, peer-to-peer, where you can wager. You'll never get limited on Bet Openly. I'm a huge fan of it, so definitely check it out. If you're seeing all these W's, this is a Pennsylvania-specific sports book called Wind Creek. They use Betfred. For people that may be in Arizona, Ohio, you heard of Betfred. They utilize Betfred as their odds maker. So I'm very limited on this sports book. It did not take me very long, but this is a book that you can go ahead and attack. All right, let's go and scroll down a little bit more. We're looking at main lines. ESPN bet. Sixers plus 17.5. Looks like the odds changed on ESPN bet to minus 135, but to a Canby Sportsbook, this is still a really good price. Looking at Sugar House, looking at Bet Rivers. I know this is a lot of points, but hopefully, am I still logged in? No, I got to log back in. Let's take a look at this. Nothing better than I love betting on a mainline play right now. Now, one thing that I also like to do, so I'm going to go hit this up on Sugar House, is I just want to take a look at where the spread is for some of the other sharp sports books like a Bookmaker, like a Pinnacle. So let me go to the main markets really quick. Let's see where this is at. This is probably a slight alternate line. Wow. Ho-ho! This goes all the way from 13.5 to 17.5. So the main line here is really 16. Now, I know we're getting a slightly different price over there at OddsJam. We're getting a slight alternate line here. It's a little annoying. Half the logos are not showing right now, but still. Minus 110 on Circa and on Bookmaker at plus 16. We're obviously getting the plus 16.5 or plus 17.5. I kind of like this. So we're going to do a little sprinkle here. I want to add some of this over here to Sugar House. This game's about to tip off in 8 minutes. This is a great time to go ahead and grab this, right? Placing a last-second bet. We're looking at the plus 17.5 at minus 129. It moved up a little bit. Not ideal. This move to minus 129. Let's see if there's any value still here. They're saying about 3%, $430 wager. I might not be as interested in wagering $430, but I'll go ahead and throw $250 on this one. And let me make sure you guys can see when I'm about to place this wager here. Let's take a look if I can get this in. All right, we're in on the Sixers at plus 17.5. at minus 129 odds over at Canby. So again, because the price adjusted a little bit, you just click in the purple calculator here on the left-hand side, you change the odds price, and it's telling me what I should wager. Now, guys, I might not be taking full advantage of that wager right there. I should be wagering more money on this play. But to be very just honest with you, I'm not quite ready to make that kind of commitment. You know, I'm willing to move in with you. I don't know if I'm ready to get married to you yet. 76ers at plus 17.5, right? So that's a me problem. Okay, that's not I don't trust the number that OddsJam's giving me. I think the OddsJam recommendation is fantastic. I'm just not quite ready to make that leap, right? Because I don't know, I don't place too many bets at like $500. And that's kind of the next part of evolution when it comes to me as a sports bettor. I have to start to get comfortable placing bigger bets. Looking at maybe New Mexico, minus 8.5 tonight. This looks to be fantastic over at Caesars. If I open this play up, let's take a look. Minus 8.5 at minus 110 at Caesars. A lot of sharp sports books like Bookmaker, Circa, Pinnacle all have this at minus 9.5. Good God, this is a smash and a half on the Lobos tonight, taking on San Jose State at minus 8.5. I understand they're smaller college basketball teams. Okay, they're smaller conferences. But the bottom line is we're getting an extra point less and the same odds as a lot of sharp sports books, meaning that if New Mexico wins by 9, your bet's going to lose if you bet this over at Bookmaker or Pinnacle at the minus 9.5 or at BetMGM. But at Caesars, we're getting this at a great price. So I might have to log back in again. But again, the one-click bet feature does all the work for me. Pulls the bet up. I don't have to worry about searching for anything. That's your cue to pull the bet up for me. You got to, come on, you're making me look bad now in front of my friends. Let's try it once more. Abracadabra. Maybe not. Maybe it's not working for me. Maybe I'm a liar. Maybe I just sold you a bad batch of goods right here. Let me go ahead and log in. It's having a bit of a conniption fit right now, trying to get this thing going. Why can't I log in? It's like my internet all of a sudden is just working really slow over at Caesars. Hopefully you guys aren't experiencing any buffering issues, but this has been a real pain in the butt. You got to be kidding me, kids. Come on. I need it. Let's go. Let's go. Anyways, guys, these are going to be kind of edges that you want to look for. I'm just going to wait on Caesars to load up because it's a fantastic play. And the game doesn't start till 10. But these are kind of little things that you want to look at, whereas you're getting this at minus 8.5 at Caesars compared to others. And even if you're like, yo, bro, I don't have Caesars, the same example applies whether it's you're taking the Lakers at plus 3.5 or you're taking the Ravens at minus 6.5. These are little itty-bitty things that you want to take a look at. Let me pop back over here. It's not there. All right, Caesars isn't working for me right now. That's just the way it goes. Last bet before we call it a night on the stream. If you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smash the thumbs up button. Make sure to click the like button. All right, so we're looking at Providence and Creighton. Right, so the over 144.5. Again, I want to open this up. I'm not just going to look at what Pinnacle has this priced at. I want to see what the other sharp sports books have this priced at. And what you can see is a lot of books have this at 145. Pinnacle sometimes even has an alternate line at 145.5. So we're getting an incredible price at over 144.5. Again, not bad maybe over at Canby or at Caesars as well. So we're going to take this at over 144. So what I'm going to do over here off to the side of my other monitor is go ahead and fire this bad boy up on FanDuel. I'm going to log in, and then we're going to utilize the one-click bet feature and snag this play for our last bet of the day. Very excited. Okay, let's see. We're in. Cool. And now let's go ahead and pull this play up. There we go. At over 144.5 at minus 104. Again, OddsJam's recommending me I wager 380. I might wager a little bit less than that. That's just because what I'm really comfortable with. I might go 208 to make an even $200 on this over. But I still really like that, Providence and Creighton. And there we go, guys. So hopefully you found some different examples that we were able to smash some bets. And those are like the little things that we want to look for when you're making straight wagers, right? And if you're someone that's just getting started into sports betting, then I would highly advise getting into arbitrage and middle betting. You're going to love it. Again, have any questions? Don't hesitate to reach out and ask. But otherwise, guys, that's where I'm going to call it tonight for the stream. Hope you guys found some value and insight. I hope all of your bets cash. I hope you have the greatest night of your life sports betting. And if nothing else, I'm back on my YouTube channel tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time doing the same thing. And I'll be back on the OddsJam channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern running this back again, talking about how much money that we made. Have a great night, guys. Take care.